thing we've noticed cropping up again and again on our social platforms, on Facebook, on Twitter, on the forums. People keep asking about Balverines. And right now, we can say, there's going to be Balverines. It's so exciting. They're an old favourite. Any villain player is going to be so excited to be able to put one of these down on the map and really go for those heroes.
The Balverines are obviously an iconic Fable creature. They've actually evolved quite a lot over the course of different Fable games. You know, you look back at the Balverines in Fable 1 with their kind of blunt faces, and while there's obvious inspiration from the sort of werewolf myths, because Balverines are these transforming creatures, they weren't particularly wolf-like in the way they looked or moved or acted, and that changed a little bit over the course of the games, whereas we've wanted to roll that right back and to go, right, what does a Balverine look like in the time of legend?
This is 500 years before the first Fable, so we took them back to the drawing board a bit and thought about what they actually were, because they're men transformed into these creatures. So we had to think about what characteristics they would retain and what sort of differences there would be.
The Balverines come from this terrible creature, the Balvorn, which is a myth for the people of Albion, this horrible monster which we've never seen or know quite what it looks like, because a lot scarier that way, right? But one person managed to stop the Balvorn, but he got wounded in the process and transformed, and that was the first Balverine, and then he sort of spread the curse out from that. So this myth is very, very old, and so these creatures would be there in the time of legend.
Don't wriggle now!
They're a lot more menacing than they used to be, actually. They're a lot more bestial. I think these ones, we made them a bit sort of orangutans crossed with wild dogs. They're a really strange mishmash, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they've got a great lurching posture, and they have got huge arms, so they look like any second they're going to spring out and attack you.
Yeah, it's that whole thing of looking like they're going to go down on all fours and rush you, like tear you to pieces.
The white Balverine is the original Balverine. You may remember this guy from the first Fable game. He's incredibly tough, he's massive, he's really hard to fight, and he's terrifying if you're a hero, or awesome to use if you're a villain.
They're much closer to the original. There's the legends of how Balverines came to exist. They're sort of the pure breeds of the bunch.
The route we've tried to take it is to put it on the same threat level as an ogre or a rose-white barkskin. When the heroes see this creature bounding across the ground, that's the moment we just go, okay, what are we going to do about this? Because they're fast, a lot faster than an ogre and a barkskin, but just as powerful and as deadly.
For the voice, we use this microphone which records sounds which are above the normal range of human hearing. Usually they're used for recording bats and things like that. When you take the sound that you've recorded and slow it down, all of the higher frequency stuff that you normally can't hear is in the hearing range. We've had someone do all this sort of wolfy, snarly kind of business at twice the speed and then slowing it down to get this really monstrous kind of effect.
It sounds imposing.
It sounds imposing
Scary.
and frightening, and it's horrible. That's good.
The Balverines have a roar attack, and if you're standing in front of them and you're hit by this roar, then you get slowed and you've got like sticky saliva on you.
It's pretty gross.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. And drool everywhere.
Yeah.
They also have a new feature of our creatures which they can go up ledges. So this was actually Ryan's idea.
It was actually my idea, yeah.
Yep, they can jump up ledges, great for the villain, because if the hero has to run all the way around, Balverine can just jump up, ambush them before they even get to the top.
Yeah.
So like with all of our creatures, they're twofold now. We have a creature that a hero needs to engage with, but also on the flip side, something that the villain has to be able to control. So we've tried to keep and maintain a lot of the classic behaviours that you associate with the Balverines, you know, leaping up and down, landing behind heroes and thinking, okay, how can we still keep that, but give the villain the control of this? So we decided to give the Balverine as its special ability, the ability for the villain to target a location and then they leap up into the air and they land down. We kind of describe it a little bit similar to the Red Cap artillery, except it's a Balverine falling from the sky as opposed to a missile, which is just as intimidating for a hero. Suddenly you're running towards them, you can see them standing there, this small flight figure, and then they crouch down and leap up. You go, oh God, where have they gone? Where have they gone? And usually the villain will put them right behind you, or he's hidden them behind a bush. It's this real sense of, I don't know where the hell they have just gone. And it's got quite a fearful moment when you're playing as a hero.
I remember playing the original Fable games and Balverines being kind of terrifying. I really kind of hated them. Whenever I'd come up against them, I dreaded it. And to think that I'm going to be the villain controlling those creatures against those players who are going to be dreading them.
It's a good twist on it.
Super exciting.
It's been exciting to try and bring the Balverine back and update it. Trying to get that right, that's been really exciting to really sort of see how far we can push this creature.